back for another Geek Tavern. As always, it's me, Shawn, and I'm joined by Mike.
Hello.
And Aaron.
What's up?
And there's a little bit of news that I wanted to bring up. I'm not sure if you guys heard about this, but HBO Max, you know how they're doing their movie thing, streaming, same day. Apparently, with their Tom and Jerry release, some people that clicked Tom and Jerry to watch Tom and Jerry, they ended up watching the Snyder Cut. So it was released to a couple of people before, when is it supposed to come out? Like sometime
18th.
Next week, yeah.
Or
Or 2 weeks from now. But yeah, so they got a chance to watch it before, like 2 or 3 weeks before it was scheduled to release.
But only like the runtime of Tom and Jerry.
I saw that some people were able to get around it if they stopped the movie before like the movie ended, like the time code would have ended and then started it again. It just like jumped past the time code and then they watched the full thing.
Okay.
So some people only saw like an hour and 30 minutes of it, so like less than half of the movie, and then some people got to watch the entire thing.
Wow.
Dang.
I did hear about this, and most of like what I saw on Twitter was a bunch of people going, "BRB, gotta go click a shit ton of different movies to see if Godzilla vs. Kong is somewhere on here."
Yeah, that's good.
I'm wondering how that even happens. Like,
Tom
and Jerry and the Snyder Cut are in no way linked.
No, how does
they're
that
not
even
any similar property?
No,
I think somebody had to have done it
intentionally.
Yeah.
I don't know. Can you imagine like the look on some mom's face? She's like, "Okay, let's watch Tom and Jerry," and she starts it, and then
Just Batman bludgeoning like the giant flying thing.
Yeah. She's like, "What is this?" And she like leaves the room, and the kid starts screaming or something.
This is not Tom and Jerry.
We could talk about Tom and Jerry though. We all saw it.
Do we have to?
Well, most of us saw it. Some of us saw darkness.
The inside of our eyelid. Because
there's
legitimately more entertaining.
the stuff with Tom and Jerry was fine.
Yeah, it was
like,
fine.
It
was pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, it was straight up Tom and Jerry, which I like.
There was only about 15 minutes total of that, and then like the other hour and...
We just had a really bland, like, and when I say bland, I mean it was throw a bunch of darts at plot devices set up on a dartboard, and then they just went, well, we can try to make sense of this.
Yeah.
Like, you had half decent actors. Well, and Michael Pena, like, I'm gonna set him aside from everyone else.
Yeah.
In a really just subpar.
I don't know anything about that
movie.
Main girl. I don't know.
Chloe Grace Moretz.
Yeah.
She played Hit Girl in Kick-Ass.
Okay.
And
I've seen that movie, but it's been a long time.
The hotel manager was Peter from Deadpool 2.
Right, okay. I did see people saying that.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to base her career on this movie, but I couldn't stand her specifically in this movie.
Like, this is one of those movies where you've watched an actor in other things, and you can tell that they are just phoning it in the entire time during this performance.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, you showed up to set, and you were like, blah, 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 blah. Okay, see you tomorrow. Like, there's not one... Michael Pena might be the only one giving a half-decent, convincing performance in this movie. Other than that, it's just garbage.
I mean, as I didn't see much of the movie... the stuff that I remember, even with Pena, like, I was like, it's not good.
And Ken Jeong is like shown in the trailer a bunch, and then he's in it for like 2 scenes.
Yeah, like less than 5 minutes.
He's the chef, and then he's in it for 2 scenes.
You know what? He was the best part of the movie.
Yeah, you know what? I'll agree with you. I'll agree with you.
He ruined the Hollywood elite wedding by smashing his own cake.
Yeah, that was...
Yeah, it's just like such a bizarre plot. Like,
it was.
Can I go on about...
None of it is relatable either.
No, it's entirely
like
unrelatable.
None of the characters are relatable. Like, unless you work in a hotel, then I guess you're like, oh, that happens every day.
Is it the guy from SNL? Is it Colin Jost?
Yeah.
Scarlett Johansson's husband.
Well, on that note, screw that guy.
But, well, yeah, obviously.
No, he I don't mind him on SNL, but he did stuff with the WWE. Like, he wrestled a match at WrestleMania.
Oh, really?
Him and Michael Che.
Oh, yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah. I couldn't stand him then. And I can't stand him now, only because, like, the fact that we were supposed to, in a way, from what I remember or experienced during the movie, we were supposed to kind of, like, sympathize with him because she, like, leaves him. And...
I did not sympathize with any character in this movie.
Yeah.
At all.
So the explanation of it was, so he, like, ruins their wedding because it's, like, 10 times more extravagant than she wanted. But his explanation is that he wanted the wedding to be like that because that's what her dad wanted for their wedding. So he's like, I got caught up trying to please your dad and please, you know, I like to go big and everything. It's like, that's not relatable.
No. It made zero sense because first off, they're like elite people, so it's not relatable.
Yeah,
None of us could ever have that gigantic, ridiculous
wedding.
wedding.
They bring in tigers and elephants for their wedding.
Yeah.
Like,
Literally.
It was just stupid.
Nah.
1 star.
Yeah,
1 star.
What did I give it? You know what? I gave this 2 stars. 1 because the Tom and Jerry stuff was good.
I'm only giving it 1 because of Tom and Jerry.
And the soundtrack.
And I gave it a second one because of the soundtrack, which was actually pretty good.
The soundtrack wasn't terrible, but I'm going to give it a half star for each that will form 1 complete star.
And as terrible and dog shit of a movie this is,
it's terrible.
I rated it higher than Monster Hunter.
Wow, that's actually... That hurts.
Yeah.
I kind of want to watch it now.
Yeah,
because if you rated it higher than Monster Hunter, that's disappointing. Well,
and it might just be because I got a nap in.
Speaking of Monster Hunters, we saw another movie recently too.
Yeah.
Raya and the Last Dragon. Personally, I enjoyed this movie. I was stuck in the bathroom for the first 20 minutes. And
I was asleep for the other.
Yeah, you were asleep at 20 minutes into the movie. So
I'm old, guys.
We completed the whole movie
between the two.
If we do the fusion dance, we can.
That's right. We can form the entire vision.
Well, I got to watch the whole thing. So.
Yes. I really enjoyed this movie. I don't think that they're like. I made the comment while we were watching it that I said, "Do you think Disney execs actually watch these movies before they go out, or do they just go, nah?" We know it's gold. We know it's going to sell tickets. We know it's going to tug at everyone's heartstrings.
I'd imagine
and you're gonna
most executives or whatever you want to call them, I assume they watch them.
See, like, and that's the thing. They have such a good track record. Do they even?
Or like they're like, hey, let's have our kids watch this.
Yeah.
Maybe get their reaction.
Yeah.
That would make sense to me. I don't know.
But like, they never disappoint. Disney live action disappoints.
Yeah.
Any live action movie they make disappoints. If it's animated, it's gold. It's like they made a deal.
Live action movies suck.
It's like they made a deal with Satan that they were like, if we make if it's animated, if 2D or 3D, it'll be good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. Like, but every live action movie you make will suck.
I don't want to say
it'll either be 5 stars or below. Like, that's all you get. And they're like, we'll take that bet.
It's all subjective. I'm not gonna, like, you feel that way, and I get it. Like they're not great. I can see that much. I do enjoy Aladdin. For the most part, I enjoyed Beauty and the Beast, and I think Jungle Book was actually pretty
Jungle Book
damn good.
Whenever I think of live action Disney movies, the first one that pops in my head is John Carter from Mars.
Oh,
yeah, I never saw that one.
Which is
actually,
it's not good.
You know what though? Aside from Mowgli, all of Jungle Book is animated.
Well, yes, okay.
So
yeah.
The curse still stands.
It does. Yeah, good point.
Yeah,
good point.
On the other end of that coin, Lion King 2019.
19. Yeah.
That is also basically entirely animated, and that movie is not good.
Well, like I said, 5 or below.
if the lions had emotion, it would be passable.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, if they emoted any, like, that's all part of the charm. And that's the other thing. That's these animated movies have a charm that once you lose that, it's.
Yeah.
But yeah, Raya is basically just Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah, it is.
In this alternate world, and I thought it was really cool with like the different factions, where they're living, like on the Horn, Spine, Fang part.
That reminded me of something, and I can't think of what it was. like either a game or something. Maybe I'm thinking of Shadows of Mordor.
Maybe.
Because there's like different factions you have to go take over and stuff.
It reminded me directly of Avatar because of the different lands, like the Earth Kingdom and the Fire Nation, things like that.
Yeah, I've never watched that, so I don't.
And that the main antagonist's mission in life is to hunt the last dragon.
Yeah, it was pretty good. All of the acting in it is awesome. Awkwafina as Sisu Datsu as this like young, naive dragon. I thought she was great.
Yeah, she was really great. Kelly Marie Tran as Raya.
And the action in the movie is fantastic too. Yeah, like there's not like a lot of action in like Disney movies like this, but there was like some really great like hand-to-hand combat.
We all saw it in the theater, and I actually got kind of excited because last night I was scrolling through and I saw Raya and the Last Dragon, and I was like, and I went to go click on it, and I read Premiere Access, and I was like, oh, never mind. Yeah. But I was like, I'll watch that again. Like,
I have all intention to watch that in full because I did really enjoy what I seen of it.
Yeah,
not at the premiere price though.
No.
God, no. No, I'll wait till June 4th so I can watch it for free for the rest of my life.
Yeah. They have to really work out that method. It's bizarre.
Like $10-15 I can totally get
$10-15 is like a reasonable renting price. Because that's how much we paid to watch Trolls 2 when the lockdown happened at our friend's house. We streamed it. That's reasonable. Because 5 people can pitch in. Yeah. $4 a piece, and we all can just rent the movie and watch it.
Right. But when I'm imagining that's what they're expecting is happening with this too, but it's like double the price.
Yeah. And that's probably where they get you is they're like, well, we know multiple people are watching at the same time, so.
But I just don't understand because like this is underneath a Premiere paywall, and Milan was underneath a Premiere paywall, but they just released Soul to watch on Christmas Day. Like, I don't understand their ideas here. They're just kind of like throwing darts at a board, and they're like, well, maybe this one's under Premiere. This one is free to watch same day. It's like, what are you even doing?
Maybe they're just, they'll give us a Christmas present next year. They'll put Black Widow on for Christmas.
I don't think we're ever going to see that movie.
No. It's just not real. It's lost forever. No, it exists. It'll go into the vault. You'll like get it re-released in like 25 years, and they'll be like fresh from the vault, and people will be like, "What the hell is this? I don't even remember this."
2020 movie. Yeah, view it for the first time
ever.
2030.
Yeah, 2030. The 10-year anniversary. Remember the thrills, the excitement. And it's like, what?
This is the first time anybody's seen this movie.
That'll be like a Mandela thing where people are like, "No, I remember seeing it."
I remember seeing that in theater.
I was having a conversation with somebody, and spoilers for WandaVision, but they're saying like how Vision is basically back now, and they're like, oh, I wonder if they're gonna just be able to bring back Black Widow, and Gamora is technically back too, and it's like, well, we would have known last year around this time, but
Gamora is
she's technically in universe. She's just a different version of her.
Yeah, Gamora is
she's
back.
pulled. Yeah, she's pulled from a different, like earlier in her time stream.
Yeah. And then it's like, well, maybe they'll do the same thing with Black Widow because they're clearly just bringing back people that they killed off officially.
But it's a whole different ball game there because Vision is a machine technically. Yeah. So you could rebuild him, which they did. Yeah. And made the other Vision.
The only good thing Hayward did.
Yeah. So like it works for Vision. Vision's one of those characters where it's like, okay, yeah, that makes sense because he's technology. Yeah. You can rebuild him and bring him back. You can't bring back somebody who is a person who died and has been dead for nearly 7 years now, according in that timeline. Like you can't just bring them back and have them be alive and like have all their flesh and everything.
Yeah, see that's why
doesn't work.
I didn't get upset about Vision being quote unquote back, because he is machine. Like
no, it makes sense.
Like that's why I was never behind the whole Black Widow movie because I'm like, she's dead. Let's move on.
Right? Yeah. I
like this should have happened
in 2012.
10 years ago. Yeah.
Is whenever they should release
it should have happened in between
right after Iron Man 2
and Infinity War. Let's say.
Yeah. somewhere.
Well, because that's where that movie takes place.
Oh,
Is
okay.
between Civil War and Infinity War.
Yeah, I was just meaning a movie in general. Like, should have came out. Pretty
Well,
much right
I mean,
after Iron
there's
Man
stuff
2,
that happens
but
back in the past,
Right.
but she goes back
Okay.
in between. You didn't know that?
I had no idea what it was supposed to be.
Oh,
no, I don't know enough about the movie. I'm just saying a movie should have happened.
I feel like we talked about it before, but it was so long ago that we just forgot about its existence again.
Very possible.
You
Could
know?
be.
The movie was supposed to come out basically a year ago at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
But anyway,
yeah, so
back to Raya.
Yeah, back to Raya.
I don't know. The soundtrack was awesome, and the animation, I mean, needless to say, is always incredible.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
The action is great.
The dragon was not like what I expected.
No, it was a really interesting interpretation of the dragons. I mean, it had the same characteristics of appearance that you would expect from an Eastern style dragon.
I was kind of meaning like her personality and like almost like a quirkiness.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean,
she was supposed to be like young,
right?
and that's kind of funny juxtaposed with like Sisu is their savior, and they think that she's like this almighty wise dragon, and then whenever Raya summons her back, and she's just like a kid, basically, like Raya is.
Right.
And they're like, "What? But you saved the world," and she's like, "Well, technically, yeah, but I didn't really do anything."
I took the thing that gave me the ability to do that.
Yeah.
So aside from that, have you guys watched anything?
What, do you want to rate it?
Oh, do we? Is it necessary?
I can't give a rating.
That's fair.
I mean, 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
I don't think I watch an animated Disney movie that I don't give a recent one, I should say. Like if you go from Toy Story on any 3D of the animated, I'd probably
Was this just
no
Disney
less.
or was it Pixar?
It's just Disney.
Yeah,
Okay,
Disney.
just Disney.
Disney animation or something like
okay.
that.
I don't know. Do they don't own DreamWorks, right?
No.
Yeah, I don't know. There's Pixar and then there's Disney Animation. I don't know.
Yeah, I think this is from Disney Animation.
So like
So it's
Frozen.
like Wreck-It Ralph, Frozen.
Frozen's Disney,
Yeah.
Disney animation.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah.
They look a little different than like
Onward.
Frozen and. Oh yeah.
Yeah, this was almost like a new
Like it's getting
palette
like
or whatever.
I don't want to say like Frozen looks not as good as Pixar movies. I guess it's just like Pixar movies are more cartoony. I guess I want to say.
Yeah, they're supposed to be more cartoony.
But this one looked like more in the vein of a Pixar movie.
Yeah.
I would say 9 out of 10.
Yeah,
I never really rate an animated Disney movie less than that because it has everything that I want to watch. I always feel good after watching an animated Disney movie. Like it just, not to sound cheesy, but it warms your heart after watching an animated Disney movie.
Yeah, I'd say the same. 8, 9 out of 10. Yeah, it's really good. If you go see it, if you can safely in the movie theater, or don't pay the premiere price on Disney Plus.
Give them your money in a different way.
Yeah, force them to give us the movies for free.
That's right.
Yeah, because your Disney Plus subscription is going up this month.
Oh yeah, it's already going up $1.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And if you have the bundle, it's going up $1 too.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen any other movies.
No.
I have. You've been working while we do it, so we're doing a catch up of the DC universe movies leading up to the Snyder Cut.
That's true.
So last weekend I watched Batman vs Superman, the Ultimate Edition, which is better.
I did recently watch that again.
I don't think I could sit through it.
This weekend we watched Wonder Woman and Suicide Squad, the extended version.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, you have no idea because when we watched it, I knew that they were really trying to go for the Guardians vibe. 14 songs crammed into the first half an hour of that movie. Every scene,
good songs.
Great songs, but every single scene had a new song to start it. I mean, if there was a 30-second long
each character when they introduced them,
brand new song.
Yeah, each character had a song.
The difference between the soundtrack in Suicide Squad and the soundtrack in Guardians of the Galaxy is that the soundtrack in Guardians of the Galaxy is diegetic, which means the characters are hearing it.
Yes.
Like they are hearing it at the same time we are hearing it.
That's true.
But in Suicide Squad, it's just them doing things and we are hearing the music. But being able to tie it in, like making it story important, is like what elevates Guardians soundtrack as well as the story. And this is just like grabbing at these popular songs to try and make your movie better.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the extended version really isn't that much better. Honest to
I
God,
didn't even know there was an extended version.
Okay, so I watched Suicide Squad once in the theater. Wasn't the worst thing I've ever watched. Wasn't the greatest thing I've ever watched. It was fine. It was passable for a DC movie because, let's face it, their track record up until that point was not that great. It was okay. And then watching it the second time, a couple of the people that I watched it with were like, I don't remember this part. Like, half the room was like, I don't remember this part. And half of the room was like, no, I remember this part. So none of us could decipher which was extended and which wasn't. It was like a Mandela effect.
Yeah.
Like, we're just like, well, what side? And they're like, well, I never saw the extended cut, but I remember this part. And somebody who had watched the extended cut's like, no, this is in the normal movie. And I'm like, I have no idea. I watched this movie once. I'm like, I'm reliving all the horrorish nightmares all over again.
Release the air cut.
Yeah.
I mean, we're getting a whole new one, so I was excited about Suicide Squad, the first one to come out. I was like, ooh, I'm optimistic about it, and I am also cautiously optimistic about this new one.
Well, it's James Gunn, though.
Yeah, James Gunn.
Yeah.
So hopefully,
it's not... Shawn Gunn's the weasel.
Yeah, he looks like a crack fox.
Yeah, crack fox.
Will Smith's not coming back for...
No. But they got Idris Elba instead, so...
Yeah. Which I asked Matt about that, and I said, is he supposed to be new Deadshot? And he's like, no, but yes.
Oh.
So he's not Deadshot, but he is the same type of character.
I thought he is Deadshot.
No.
Whatever.
No, he's apparently like...
He's not Deadshot.
No.
That's his name.
Yeah, not
Deadshot.
Deadshot.
I'm rebranding.
It's like Die Bullet or something like that. Like,
oh,
it's
God.
just some stupid, like, knockoff.
It's not Bullseye, is it?
No. Probably not Bullseye.
No.
Because that's a character.
Yeah, Bullseye's in Daredevil.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a character for the other company. Never
Different
mind.
universe.
Yeah. But yeah.
What's the next movie you guys are watching?
Justice League is what we're going to be watching
good.
this weekend to prepare for next weekend.
Nice.
Well, it's not as bad as Batman versus Superman, but it's not good.
It's not good.
I
no.
love Batman vs. Superman.
The extended version is good.
That movie sucks so much.
I saw the theatrical cut like 3 or 4 times in theaters.
No.
I liked it, guys. I don't know.
So good.
Oh my god!
I know I'm in the minority, but
I watched it in theaters, and I left that movie, and I was like, that.
That was still within the time.
3 hours of my life I'm not getting back.
That's still within the time where like I was still very ignorant about superheroes in general. Like, I knew, obviously, the big names, Batman, Spider-Man, and whatever. But, like, I had nothing for... Like, I didn't know anything about Wonder Woman. I didn't even know who, Doomsday. I didn't really know anything about Doomsday. So, like, it wasn't, like, garbage to me. You know what I mean?
I don't think it's garbage because
it's
of their established characters. I just think it's a bad story.
Yeah. No, it's
that
like...
just didn't bother me.
That's what I've always said, is...
I'm not trying to debate anything. I'm just saying, like,
DC's property, DC's IP isn't what's garbage. It's how they execute making a live-action movie with that IP. Because somebody comes along and screws it all up for everybody involved, and it just sucks. It gets terrible reception, and then that's why DC still suffers to this day.
I know I'm going to get garbage for this, but, like, I don't understand why everybody's like, oh, that Martha scene. Like, why was it so...
Okay, so the reason...
I don't get it.
What's the motivating force behind Superman saying that?
Yeah. No. It's not that the scene... It's not like that the scene is bad. It's, yeah, like Shawn said, the motivation of... Because why would Superman in his dying breath just be like, save Martha? Like, what is that going to mean to Batman?
And why would he, yeah.
And
why wouldn't he say, like, save my mom?
Yeah. Why wouldn't he just be like, Bruce, please save my mother? Like, instead, like, that might actually be him, like, being like, okay, like, maybe he does have, like, some kind of conscience. Like, saying Martha and then having Batman go, like and start freaking out. Like, why'd you say that? Like, that makes no sense. That's where it just like bothers me. And I've had arguments with people where they're like, it means something because of this and this, and I'm like, I don't care what's off screen. I don't care. I'm like, I'm sitting there watching this movie, and when he says Martha, and Batman's like, and like throws the spear down, I'm like, what is wrong with you?
Do you think that like Bruce Wayne and Batman in the same coin, they're just like walking, like let's say it's Bruce Wayne and he's just like in the in his day-to-day business routine, and it's like, oh, Martha in accounting, and he just goes like falls over like sobbing.
Oh
Why did you say
Why did you say that name?
Everybody has like something on their desks, like during interviews they're like, we have an M word here that we don't say, and they're like, huh? And they're like, Martha, you can't say that. Like
around Mr. Wayne, please refrain from using the name. And it's like, that is my name.
Yeah,
well,
no.
You're going to have to change your name.
No. They're like, they'll be like, no, you can't use that word. That's my name, though. We know. We're not hiring you. We're just letting you know not to ever say it on your way out or near the building. Like, that's where it makes no damn sense.
Oh,
why
the
he
next
says
scene
that.
is her with a megaphone outside. Martha.
Yeah. The Joker could just taunt Batman like that. Holy crap! He could have won a long time ago.
Yeah, but the Joker doesn't know Batman's true identity.
Well, maybe Robin said it at one point.
Maybe.
Maybe that's why he let Robin die. It's because he said
Maybe
Martha
he killed
and
Robin.
He ran away.
Batman killed Robin because he said his name, his mom's name.
Oh, okay.
Oh my god.
Well, there you go, guys. I opened a can of worms.
Yeah, for sure.
It's nothing to do with the scene. The scene should exist because that's the point where you need them to come together. But the motivations behind what they do is just stupid.
I just don't read into stuff like that. That's my weakness.
I mean, like
I just don't think about it. I'm like, oh yeah, Batman. Like, it's like, what do you mean you gotta save Martha?
Yeah, it was just weird. But anyway, so that's about all I've.
Yeah, that went off the rails.
Okay.
Watch that movie.
Watch Raya and the Last Dragon. Not Tom and Jerry.
Yeah, don't watch that one.
Well, speaking of live action and animated movies,
Yeah.
we have a bit of a combination today.
Yes. What's that movie? This is that movie with Don Knotts and the fish, right?
No, this is that one with Brendan Fraser and Bugs Bunny.
Oh.
There's two of those, actually. I don't remember the names of them.
Yeah.
There's two of them?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's really obscure. Yeah.
Oh.
I remember.
I knew of the one.
But this is probably the first movie that even attempted that. I'm surprised.
No, the Don Knotts one, I think.
Oh, yeah. This is the one that was.
Well, that even during that time, like Disney was playing around with that. Mary Poppins.
Oh, that's
true.
Oh,
yeah.
And that, I mean, they were playing around, like trying to find that sweet spot between that because people loved their animated movies, and back then people loved their live action. So it had to have been somewhere in like the 70s that they made a deal with the devil. Like, because after that it just goes.
No, it was God realizing that Dick Van Dyke's British accent was so horrible that he cursed Disney's live action movies from here on out.
Oh, no!
How dare you? But
chimney sweet.
My recommendation for this week was Who Framed Roger Rabbit, directed by Robert Zemeckis.
Mm-hmm.
Also produced by Robert Watts and. Just gonna read the back of this because
You've exposed the mouse.
Robert Watts and Frank Marshall. Robert Watts is, I believe, cousin to Jeremy Bulloch, who was Boba Fett. He also produced Empire Strikes Back, Temple of Doom, Last Crusade. He was a production manager on Raiders of the Lost Ark. And Frank Marshall, who is married to Kathleen Kennedy to this day, and helped produce like E.T., Jurassic World, Jurassic Park, all that. Like, I was reading up on this last night, and I was like, oh, there are some interesting names tied into this. And, of course, Joel Silver.
Yes. So, basically, in a alternate 1940s era where humans and toons coexist in the same time.
But they're also segregated.
Separate but equal.
Yeah. God, that's fucked up.
Shouldn't have said that. But yeah, in a 1940s alternate universe where humans and toons coexist with each other, Roger Rabbit is a toon star and is framed for the murder of Acme Warner because he was allegedly having an affair with his wife, and it is up to our private eye, Valiant, I don't remember his first name. Eddie Valiant, to investigate and find out why he's being framed for murder.
So let me start this off by, it wasn't even this, well, I think this movie played a part in it. I have a friend who I won't out on the show because it's, I don't know, kind of embarrassing. Of course, we were children. He used to believe that cartoons were sentient beings. And,
yeah, that's weird. I don't know anyone who has that type of.
But I remember being like, "No, man!" Like I'm talking. We were in like probably like kindergarten. First grade.
It's not. It's not. Because especially at the end of the movie, I'll get to it whenever we get there.
Yeah.
But it sounds like they're setting up a world of which we currently live in. It's not out of the realm of like possibility.
Yeah, I'm not even trying to like badmouth him. I'm just saying like that's what I thought of when I watched this movie.
Whoever you are, you have 14 hours before we leak your secret to the world.
So that's I don't know. That's what I thought of when we, brought this movie up.
Yeah, but
I just thought of Bionicles.
So instead of like you brought up Mary Poppins, and they're sure they had tried to do the animation interwoven with live action, but that was like a 10-minute scene.
Yeah.
This is the entirety of a film length, and it's like obviously it's crucial to the plot, and I think it's incredible. Like we start the movie with what looks like an old cartoon.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, this is funny, and then it cuts with Roger being unable to produce stars. He produces birds on the set of a film, and they're like, what is wrong with you? And he's like, oh, I can do it. And I feel like the animation increases in that cut.
Yeah.
Like it's like the regular 2D animation, and then whenever it like comes to life, it feels like it gets like better.
Yeah. Yeah, it's as if like there was a filter on, you were seeing the film part of it, and then when they cut to like the behind the scenes, it makes it look even more real. Yeah.
Which is just, the animation and the way that they had the cartoons interact with real life people is, that's a testament of its own of how incredible this movie is.
And that's what I found myself kind of focusing on while watching it this time through. Like I don't know how they did some of this stuff.
Yeah.
Probably somebody in a green suit, I assume. Like when they're
I don't even know if they
I don't think they'd even be able to use that technology.
Okay, I don't know the history of technology.
What year was it? 80
something. 86.
But like you even see it in like the very first scene whenever the director's running off. And
2013.
yeah.
And Roger is like grabbing his coat, and it's like, no, I can do the take, and like his coat is like responding to his grasp. Like there's a couple of janky scenes, like whenever Judge Doom grabs the shoe.
What'd you say?
88.
Like whenever Judge Doom grabs the shoe, like whenever he goes to grab it, like the animation's a little weird, and obviously he's shaking his own hand. But like aside from a couple of scenes like that, it's like
the shoe's supposed to be trying to get away.
Yeah, and he's like kind of like airily grabbing at it, and then he's like and grabs it.
The one that was really stood out to me, and I immediately got back into the movie and didn't really notice as much when Jessica is singing on stage and she like pushes Eddie down, like you can just see that like her hand is not
like
on him.
Yeah, there's a couple of mistakes whenever Roger and Eddie are handcuffed. You can see like Roger's hand like coming to the forefront of the cuffs, but
yeah,
that's like nitpicking.
Yeah.
Like it's really
that
it's essentially flawless aside from those
scenes.
scenes.
I wasn't trying to
Yeah, it
really
becomes negligible at that point.
Yeah.
You know?
Like the performance of it, like throughout the rest of the runtime of the movie, is so incredible that things like that is just it unimportant.
Oh yeah, I don't hold it against it at all.
And the story is great.
Mm-hmm.
Like Eddie is having resentment towards Toons because one of a Toon killed his brother, and so he slowly learns to reintegrate himself into the lives of Toontown, and I think it's really cool that there are Disney and Warner Brothers cartoons in the movie.
That's the thing that was mind blowing as a kid.
Yeah, because like they are separate, like in all entire other media. Like they'll never interact with each other again. Probably
no.
When you have Zemeckis money, I mean, you can pay off whoever you need to bring those universes together.
Yeah, I love the Donald Duck and Daffy Duck.
Daffy Duck piano scene.
Dueling pianos.
That's like one practical effect that I'm just like, how did they do? Like, unless the pianos were gutted and weighed nothing, but they like collapse and are drawn off the stage in like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
I'm like, how the fuck did they do that?
Yeah, those ones they pulled off were probably gutted, but I was thinking even when they were playing, like you can see the keys being like.
Well, that
and it's
can
probably
be player pianos, stuff
right.
like that.
That's what I was thinking as I was watching. I was like, I wonder if that's how they did that.
That was my guess, like watching it, because like you think about that stuff and you're like, wait a minute, like how did they do that? And
but it's great though that they did that, and it looks so good to this day. And then we had another great scene where it's later on, and Mickey and Bugs are like falling with Eddie. It was such a simple, fast interaction, but I'm like, this is history.
Yeah, Mickey and Bugs are obviously the faces of their respective companies, so having them interact on the same frame of film is pretty great.
Yeah,
skydiving.
Yeah, skydiving.
Like I
even the way that they are pull their parachutes is different. Like Mickey is literally like in a parachute, and Bugs is on a fucking swing connected to a parachute.
Oh yeah.
Like that's so great. Like that's so much personality.
And also that whole joke there. Is
like, it's great.
Either you got a spare? Yeah, he does. I don't think you want it. He's like, no, I want it. And he gives it to him, and he pulls it, and it's actually just a spare tire.
I loved it.
Oh my god.
That's one part of the movie that I like. Whenever Eddie actually goes into Toontown, it's like, I don't know. Maybe it's because it's too much at once. But that's like one part of the movie. I prefer it whenever they're in the real world and then interacting with Toons.
So when he enters, it's almost like really old cartoons.
Yeah.
And I don't know why as a kid almost old cartoons like that kind of like freaked me out a little bit. It was just kind of unsettling. I don't know what it was about it. So that was never my favorite part as a kid.
Yeah, that's my least favorite part of the movie. It's still fine. It's
yeah.
Like, I prefer it whenever they're in the real world and it's a 1940s noir mystery investigation movie.
Now when he gets into the Toon City, it's fine, but like just that drive there, I hated that part.
It's weird that you say that because like early '90s video game like. Where they're like it's supposed to be human characters, but they're like stylized and like deformed. Like they have like big heads and like weird bodies. Like that stuff freaked me out. When I was a kid. I was like, no, don't like that.
Yeah.
Like, but if it was like, I don't care if it looked like, if it was just like a stick figure with a human face, like that didn't freak me out. It was when their proportions were all weird and everything, and I was like, I don't like that.
Yeah.
Like Tack and the Power of Juju.
Oh, I remember.
Freaked me out because I was like, that's weird.
I don't even know what that is.
It was like a Crash Bandicoot ripoff.
Oh, okay. Huh.
They made a show about it, which is actually pretty good. But anyway, back to Toontown.
Yeah, I don't know where we were going after that.
I mean, the mystery is pretty good. Like, so first off, Eddie Valiant is hired to get naughty pictures between Jessica and Acme Warner. And then they basically ruin Roger's life, and then it ends up that Acme Warner was murdered. So
they point the finger at
Roger, and they frame him for it. So and then obviously Eddie is roped into it because Roger invades his personal space and literally handcuffs himself to him. And then between those interactions, he gets motivated to find out who actually killed Acme Warner. Oh, it was the Will, because the baby from the beginning of the movie told Valiant that he was going to leave Toontown to the Toons, and in his will, and he sees the will in one of the pictures that he took. So he's like, oh, well, I guess I'll try and find that. Which was awesome. A great payoff with the disappearing ink at the end of the movie.
I was going to say that they set that up without really knowing that they set it up. Yeah. It's pretty great.
Yeah, it's seamless writing, really. Which,
I don't know. That seems like a very Robert Zemeckis thing.
That's true.
It makes sense why I love this as a kid, and then later, like, my favorite movie of all time is Back to the Future. So it just makes sense that I love this as a kid. I mean, I love it now too, but I used to watch it all the time.
Yeah, I mean, basically everything you guys said about it, I agree with. This is the first time I've ever watched this.
Really?
In its entirety.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, that was my first run with it.
Nice.
The first time I ever tried to watch it, we had an animation class in college, and we each got to pick a movie that we felt used like animation or whatever, like to its full extent. So we just basically got to pick a movie, and then we broke it down based on like whatever. And one of the kids picked this movie to watch, and we watched like the first half of it, and then I don't remember anything about the second half of it. So, and I think we had to split it into like 2 days, and we just never finished it or whatever. So, this is my first brush with that.
So, speaking of Back to the Future, the bad guy in this movie is Christopher Lloyd.
Yes.
As a kid, I put that together. It always kind of bugged me. I'm like, wow, why is Doc Brown being so mean?
Judge Doom.
Yeah.
That was a weird part of the movie that I didn't get as a kid, where he, like, Judge Doom, like, bought his way to becoming a judge. He bought his election to being a judge. I was like, what the... I was like, wow, that's so weird. And obviously, his motivation is so stupid.
Yeah.
Like, for murder. Like, he wants to... Well, he buys the red line so he can destroy the trolley system, and then he wants to buy Toontown so that he can murder all the Toons so that they can build freeways across Southern California.
So what you got to think of is
exists now.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. That's why that's what I was getting at. Okay. It's like, it's understandable as a child, because it's like, oh, this could just be a movie about an alternate ending to what actually happened. Like, I guess Judge Doom ended up murdering all the Toons, and they just...
That's why they don't exist now.
Yeah, that's why
based
they don't
on
exist
a true
anymore.
story. But you know what? What's kind of funny is, like, Eddie makes a comment where he's like, only a Toon would have a harebrained idea like freeways, and I was like, huh? Like, I was like, what?
Yeah, that's like the natural progression of international or national transportation.
Yeah,
it's like freeway or a highway.
Yeah, because whenever when he's going over this whole plan, I was like, that makes sense. I was like, he's gonna make a fortune if this goes through.
I must have remembered his motivation wrong, because like he says that he's like, he'll invest in like gas lines and everything,
gas stations, fast food restaurants, cheap hotels. Yeah,
but whenever I was younger, I guess because I thought this when I watched it again, I was like, oh, he wants to be like he wants to own tolls, so like he'll just like collect money from tolls and everything. And then I was like expecting that explanation, and he didn't say it. I was like, did I just like make that up when I was younger? Because that makes more sense to me than...
It's another Mandela.
I guess. It makes more sense to me than...
in one version of this movie, he's just like, I like toll roads! Like,
it's like... That's before he reveals he's a Toon, right?
Yes.
Yeah. That scene is also great.
Because you get terrifying.
You get like Eddie lamenting about his brother being crushed by a piano, and him breaking his arm because this Toon stole money and then tried to murder them.
So, the other cop that like is with him through half the movie, Valentino or whatever, I thought he was Brian Dennehy for like half the movie, because he sounds exactly like Brian Dennehy, and he's tall, so I'm like, is it? And I kept like looking, like I hear the voice, and I'm like,
he does sound.
I'm
like
like,
Brian
he sounds
Dennehy.
like Brian Dennehy, because like,
Wouldn't that be funny?
and it tipped me off when they walk in and Acme Warner is crushed by the safe. Like
That's
it's
a
just
great.
safe, and he's like,
It's like his
what kind
chalk-
of sick tune drops a safe on a guy? And I was like, and he's like, oh, sorry, Eddie.
That's such a great,
Yeah.
like that's a gag in itself because it's the chalk outline and then like right where his head hits the corner of the safe just like smashed into the concrete.
And there's no blood or anything. Like there's no brain matter. I mean, that should be a bloodbath of a crime scene right there. But
Yeah, everything about I like just thinking about like what would it be like if Toons actually existed in the real world. It's just because Eddie and his brother before his death, that's what they were. They were like detectives for Toons because it's implied that they were segregated against. Like nobody fights for Toons except for you and your brother while he was still alive. And then after his brother's death, he becomes a terrible drunk.
Yeah.
Which is his character arc through the movie. Is he trusts Toons again and stops drinking.
yeah, and then he turns Roger Rabbit into an alcoholic.
That
Turn.
Yeah.
was a great way to get away from Judge Doom in that scene,
Yeah.
making him drink the.
So I don't know if I'm misremembering this, but I didn't rewind it last night when I was watching it. The cartoon gun that Eddie pulls out, is it Yosemite Sam?
Yeah, it says thanks for getting me out of a bind, Yosemite Sam.
Oh, it was a gift from him.
Yeah, it's inscribed that.
Okay.
And
then
Jim Cummings plays one of the bullets.
Yeah, the vaguely racist bullets.
Yeah.
I love that one that he shoots at the bottle, comes out with a
The Indian?
tomahawk.
So
Yeah.
tomahawk and
Yikes.
just obliterates it.
I loved it though.
Yeah, and then he shoots the other three, and they're like morons. He's like, he went
They're
that
trying to
way.
go.
Oh, I guess they're duds.
Yeah.
Dum dums.
Or dum-dums. Yeah.
Benny the car, that was pretty good.
Oh, I
There's a
love that.
practical effects thing about that in one of the other shows that they have on Disney Plus. They
Oh, yeah,
explain
I
about
watched that,
like
yeah.
how it was like literally a gutted car with like an extension and he's just like driving it.
Yeah.
And he was like, it was almost like a Mario Kart. 'Cause,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
it was like
kinda
really
like Mario
small
Kart.
and he had to like steer like this.
Yeah.
Not that you can see what I'm doing. 'Cause, but
Yeah, you guys like the table?
I forget what what that is that part of that one show where they like the props and stuff.
props and things like
I
that.
forget what it's called. But they also have the window that Roger
Oh, yeah.
jumps through.
Yeah, that's a great
Oh,
effect
it's
too.
called prop culture.
Yeah,
Prop
Yeah.
culture. Yeah.
the blinds that he smashes through.
Yeah.
That's a great.
Yeah.
That's all I could think of when that scene happened. I was like, yeah, they got those somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love this movie.
I love it too.
I was so excited when you said it.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Is there
I'm not gonna say I love it. I like it.
Well, hey, I mean,
is there any parts you don't like about it?
No. There's nothing that I don't like about this movie. It's just like
I think that the mystery is like so good.
it's one of those movies that it will probably take me a couple of times. Like since I didn't watch it as a kid, it doesn't have that nostalgic grab for me.
yeah.
Other than all the nostalgic characters.
No. But like, I mean, like you guys watched it when you were younger,
Oh, yeah,
so
it
it's
was
like
all done.
embedded in your brain. I'm watching this later on in life, and I'm like, it's good. But like, I feel like if I watch it a few more times, I'll be like, okay, yeah, like I fully get this.
Yeah.
But no, there's nothing that I don't like about the movie. It's just one of those movies where I feel like I have to watch it a couple more times to really really enjoy it. And
You know what stupid part
Make it a
I never
sequel.
understood as a kid was when Eddie.
They played patty cake.
No, I didn't get that as a kid. I was like,
yeah.
oh.
I mean, I knew that it was like supposed to mean that they were having an affair, but like,
yeah, right.
but like it was a lot more explicit whenever I watched it because it's like, oh, patty cake.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Like, how did I not
Oh,
realize that
yeah,
as a
they
kid?
really make it seem like it's
Yeah. When he goes in and he orders a drink, and it's on the rocks.
Oh, on the rocks, yeah. And they give him.
He takes the rock
Well,
out.
and that's funny because he's like, I mean ice.
Yeah.
And then they come back and there's a rock in his drink.
Like, I guess it was just TV quality at the time, because I haven't watched this in a long time. But like, I didn't realize they were actually rocks.
But it picked out a piece of ice.
Yeah, I
and
don't
then put
know.
it back
Dirty
in.
ice.
I just it went over my head, and not knowing that term like on the rocks as a kid, like I didn't understand what that meant. So I was stupid sometimes.
Well, do we
It
want to
be
rate
like
it?
that sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, do we want to rate it, I guess?
Yes.
Yeah, I guess we will.
All right. I guess I'll go first since I recommended it.
Okay.
I think on its technical achievement alone, like it's just like it's a keynote in movie history. Like I think that if you're a fan of cinema at all, like this is a must watch for you because
Martin
it's just like,
Scorsese, we're talking to you.
And I don't think this movie gets enough credit. It's not talked about enough.
no, I mean you hear about it every now and then, but like whenever you think about like gold standards,
Yeah.
like this is hardly ever mentioned. But this
Right.
is like I think like the story elements are like fine on itself, but just like literally like the technical like they had to like frame by frame animate
Yeah.
on like strips of film, which is insane. So this is almost perfect movie for me at 9 out of 10 for sure.
Okay. I was actually thinking the same, so I'm gonna second a 9 out of 10.
We're going 8 out of 10.
How dare you!
I can't. I can't. Like I said, there's nothing that I dislike about this movie. It's just I have to watch it a few more times.
I get it.
To I guess really get the like full effect. And I'm rating it based on how it plays as a movie. It's got a good plot. It's got great actors and everything. The technical achievements are groundbreaking. And 8 is high.
Oh yeah.
That's high, but like I feel like if I revisit this again, like I said, this is my first time ever sitting down and actually watching it the whole way through.
Yeah.
So maybe next time it'll be 12. I don't know. Like
Who
who knows?
It is one of those things where you suffer from it being a mystery, where you might not get it the first time. Like I'm sure you understood it.
Oh no!
but, like you don't like
I
fully
knew,
get it.
I knew Judge Doom was behind it the whole time.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, I mean that's pretty.
and I love mystery type of movies like this. So I don't know. Maybe the next time it'll be like something in like a cartoon where the person's watching it and then their pupils like go, and blow up, and they're like, "I get it now." And like I said, there's nothing that I don't get about the movie.
Well,
it's just
not
maybe it will like soak in more.
Yeah.
Like upon a rewatch.
All right.
Yeah.
We have
Not
a
bad.
recommendation for us.
Oh boy,
for
do
next
we!
week.
Oh,
And I have to do it now
Oh boy, do.
Okay.
because I can't wait till my next one. We're gonna do a double feature, boys.
Okay.
Mortal Kombat.
Oh.
Again.
The live action.
More Total Kombat.
Oh no. You're not gonna make us watch Annihilation, are you?
Yes.
Oh.
We're gonna watch both.
Oh.
Okay.
That makes me sad.
That makes me excited.
Is the next Mortal Kombat coming out
Before my next pick, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
it comes out the week of one of your picks.
Okay.
So I was like, I gotta do it now. It's early, but like, gotta do it now. So
All right. We'll be primed by the time it comes out, I guess.
yes.
That's right.
All right. If you don't want to be spoiled for, I don't even know the names of the movie.
First one's just Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat and
Mortal
Mortal
Kombat
Kombat Annihilation.
Yep.
Make sure to watch them before our next episode. I hope you enjoyed our conversation and our discussion of Tom and Jerry, Raya and the Last Dragon, and obviously Who Framed Roger Rabbit,
And all DCEU.
and all of our news about how pathetic the DC universe is. Yeah, I guess we'll see you next time. Aaron's gonna go watch Who Framed Roger Rabbit again.
Yeah.
That's all, folks.